generosity in all sorts of ways to ensure the smooth running of our school and to all your fruitful efforts which participated to develop our school.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here. Can you hear me at the back? The sound is good?
ركب الساوند. لا ارفع فوق شوي.
Better? Okay. Thumbs up. Okay, I'm going to talk to you about strategies for learning English. And you're wondering, why am I qualified to teach you anything about English? Well, I'm a professor of statistics, actually. Professor of statistics. But of course, in communicating science, I spend most of my time actually reading, writing, and editing English. So Knife will tell you, for example, when Knife gives me something written on paper, it goes back to Knife with red pen through it. Your needs to be improved. There and everywhere. So most of my qualifications are, well, I've been speaking, writing the English language for 50 years. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of my experiences. And I'm going to do that with the aid of a bit of a show. So during this show, if you want to ask questions, please feel free to ask questions. Okay, you have to bear with me while we get the technology working.
اسم محاضرة الدكتور فليب محاضرات متوسطة رحاب المعرفة. شياوة تاني وشياوة الدكتور شياوة.
Okay. I'm going to walk up and down. I like walking up and down. What's this?
Big cloud. Big bell. Big cloud. Big bell.
Yeah, you?
There's your voice.
Big Ben. This is Big Ben. These are the Houses of Parliament. Okay? In London. The Houses of Parliament. This is Big Ben. Big Ben is the bell that sits in the tower of the Houses of Parliament. Big Ben is the nickname, you know, this pet name for the Houses of Parliament. Everybody knows Big Ben, but actually it's the Houses of Parliament. This building in the financial area, we call it the Shard. This building on the right, we call it the Gherkin. You know these? You've seen these? Anyway, there are two buildings in London. I have a question. Which correct? Well done. You earned a point. I have another question. Which is taller, a Shard or a Gherkin? It's the same. Is this the same question or a different question?
No.
This is a completely different question. Completely different. Okay? This is a Gherkin. Which is taller, a Shard or a Gherkin? This is a joke. Okay? Which is taller, the Shard or the Gherkin? Well, when you say the Shard, I think building in London. When you say a Shard, this This is a piece of any shard. This is a piece of glass. So, this is the English language. And the definite are and the indefinite. So, the question has a completely different meaning when you use are instead of the. So this is just an example. Context. We're in the age of Google, aren't we? This is the Google age, this is the internet age, the age of information science. Computers, they're trying to teach the shard and a shard. It's very different. Context is everything. And as human beings, we understand context through experience. Okay, coming back to the subject of this talk, a strategy for learning English. Well, teach grammar and vocabulary. One strategy, teach English and grammar, vocabulary in context. Learn in context. Teaching, learning. And where can you contextualize English? Well, these places. Watch films, TV programs, novels, read English novels.
دكتور فليب الآن تنقف
يعني انت حتى لو مش لازم نشغلها؟
لا عايز تشغلها تتفرج عليها ممكن تشغلها دلوقتي موجودة عندك دقيقة واحدة بس شوف المشكلة في حد فصل الكهرباء ليه؟ مش في حد فصل الكهرباء بس
That's all right. Some of the context on the list. Okay, children's television programs. Name your favorite children's television program. What do you watch on telly in English? What English telly do you watch? Peppa Pig. Who knows Peppa Pig? Yeah, Peppa. Daddy Pig.
Yeah. It's a cartoon.
It's a cartoon. Children's TV is very good for learning English.
ده بس مباشر موجود عندنا مش هيعرف فيس ومش هيعرف على قناة يوتيوب مفيش لما طلعت ولا اتكلم أول مشهد فيه.
Okay, we'll start again. I'll try not to turn it off as I go. Okay. Where were we? Shall look at it again. Yeah, context. Yeah, so okay. Here we go. So here's the context. Here's some text. Puzzles and cross English by doing crosswords. When I find a new word in the crossword, I look it up in the dictionary and make a mental note of it. Talking of children's books and children's programs, apostrophe S, what's the rule? Apostrophe S, what's the rule? Go on.
It's used for abbreviations. Who is, and
For? Well, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Actually. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to look at my grammar and we're going to correct it. Books. Is this correct? slightly interesting, isn't it? Strictly children's books here means books of children. When what I really meant was books. When you read books for children, then that's you opening a book and reading it to the children. So it's I'm not even sure myself what is correct. You understand it, but anyway, it's not straightforward, and it's also evolving all the time. We have to be there. Apostrophe S, so what's the rule? If it's plural, the apostrophe comes after the S. If it's singular, the apostrophe becomes before the S. But of course, children's is an irregular plural, so then the apostrophe comes before the S. Yeah? So we understand these rules. Context is everything, isn't it? Yeah. We need to practice. So once you've got a pen and a paper. You've got a pen and paper. I want to write. No, we're on a big, on a board, a whiteboard. Yeah, there's a whiteboard up there. Here's an example of some history in relation to words. Okay, you can still hear me? Can I ask you to just sit here? Move your chairs. There. Now, suppose I mean the pod of the P. Where do we put the apostrophe? The pod of the P, where does the apostrophe go? What about this? Correct or incorrect? Incorrect. Incorrect. What about this? Correct. That is also correct. It depends. If you mean, so here's the pod. So if there are P's and you're talking about the pod, then it's, yeah? But if you're now talking about one P and its pod, then it's this, isn't it? Now, but a little bit of history, a little bit of context. This is an interesting word in English. Actually, the modern word. If you wanted to talk 500 years ago, if you wanted to talk about one of these little green vegetables, then you would use this word. This was the correct word for a single little green vegetable. And many little green vegetables a bit like children. Child, children. Peason. But it all finds. New words are appearing. Words are gaining new meanings. It's evolving. English is a huge language. One of the reasons it's so big is we use so many words from other languages. So, give me an example. I want an example of a word from another language. Cafe. Good one. What about an English word we've borrowed from Arabic? This, yeah, right, okay. They're all English words now. You can find them in the English dictionary. They're not really English words, are they? Or are they? You know, the boundary of English, fuzzy. So it's interesting to talk about the history a little, bring a little entertainment. You won't use it now, though. If you said peas and somebody look at you stupid. What do you mean peas? They won't understand. Yeah, use quizzes. Is this connected to the internet?
ايوه.
The internet go on?
Yes, connected.
Let's see if it'll find it.
ده مايك ممكن. Anyone want to speak with you?
Okay. Right. Well, this is going to be rather difficult. We're not going to be able to do it. Anyway, I was talking about Arab words that are now used in English. My favorite, I'm a mathematician, my favorite Arabic word in English is algebra. Algebra. Yeah. You know what algebra is? Who teaches mathematics? What is, okay, so he was a person.
Yeah.
And what about algorithm? An algorithm. Algorithm.
Yes.
Okay. There we are, you see. So, the Arabs, they were responsible for much of the development of algebra. The number system we now use. Okay. We can play the quiz. Oh, I can see it from there. I'm not really good at that. That's it. Okay, we won't do the quiz because you can't all see it. The screen's not big enough. Unless you can find it. Hang on. Just have a look. But this is on the BBC website. There's a grammar quiz. You can go through this kind of thing. How you do English. There are lots of these things online. Okay, those at the front then, come on. Which is the correct one? Those who can see this, which is the correct one? Practically, those cats are using our neighbour's garden. Number 3.
What about the last one?
No, the problem with if you see, the apostrophe comes after the S, so this is many neighbours, so it would be
Only one.
gardens. If it was gardens, then it would be correct. Yeah, correct. Been a turning point. Which is correct? Well, personally, I don't mind. To me, it doesn't matter. I've been speaking English for 50 years. To me, this doesn't matter. You can use any you like. Move on. Yeah? So, there will be disagreements over English. Like the split infinitive, for example. You know, what's the rule about you should never split an infinitive? Give me an example. Split infinitive. So what? Okay, a verb. What's the infinitive of the verb?
Is the
Go.
Go. The bees verb.
يعني متأخر
To
عنك
go is the infinitive. Yeah, to go. To boldly go. Now then, this tells me how many English films you haven't watched.
والله انت ما صورتنيش لا ولا
Star Trek. To boldly go. Famous saying from Star Trek. It's a famous split infinitive. In English we have a rule that you shouldn't split the infinitive. Now we're going to come to a bit of history. Why shouldn't you split an infinitive in English? Anybody? No, I'll tell you the reason. The reason is because of grammar. Grammarians were Latin trained,
محمد غنوت معي
spoke Latin, wrote Latin and read Latin.
ومش راضي يقوم.
Now in Latin, you cannot split an infinitive. So the infinitive of to be, the infinitive in Latin, is a single word, esse, E-S-S-E, E-S-S-E, to be, esse. You can't split the infinitive in Latin because they don't, it's not prepositional, yeah? Infinitive is not prepositional. So it's not possible to split the infinitive in Latin. So the grammarian said, well, we like Latin, we want to be like Latin, so let's write down a rule that says you can't split the infinitive in English. That's the reason. It's not a real reason. Which is correct? I don't
لحد مع
know.
شحن
You can have a guess
شحن دخل
and it'll tell us. Go and do the quiz yourself and have a look.
طب ايه؟
So there are other quizzes. BBC puts out lots of learning material in English. Choose one. The bite-sized channel. Another environment to learn English. Apparently, there's online conversational resources. You can actually buy English to speak it.
شحن سريع شحن طوال ما يصير كله.
Okay, so what's this?
شوفها والله والله معك شحن طوال.
Yeah. Okay, what do you think this is going to be about? What does this mean to you? This quiz. This is a quiz about what? What's rose? What's rose? Have a look at it. It's not so much a quiz, but it's just got some interesting English. It's just going to take a little while to get it up. Have a little bit of fun with this. How to... Oh, I think it's this one. Yeah. No. Not big enough. Right. Sorry about the presentation. We just need to... Yeah, okay. This could be it.
150 is okay. 150.
No, I want it as big as possible.
150.
170.
70.
No, not back. 170. No, still too big. You're right. I'm going to go for 150. 150.
Yes. You can choose.
150. No, it's still too big.
153. 150.
It's okay.
Okay. Okay, common mistakes in English. This isn't so much a quiz, but just as a bit of a test. Can you see it at the back? Coming up the back. I can see it from there. What's the correct grammar in the first sentence? Each pronoun should agree with its antecedent. Isn't it? Not there. All pronouns should agree with their antecedents. Antecedents is that thing that comes before. So, the antecedent of their is pronoun. This is singular, so this is singular. So this should be it.
شيء هو أو اليدين شوفوا يتعامل.
Next one, just between you and I, case is important. What's wrong with this? Just between you and me. Another rule in English. Preposition is a form to end a sentence with. You don't like that in English. You can use it, but we don't like it. But it is a problem in sometimes to end a sentence. It's a poor word to end a sentence. That'll do, won't it? With. Notice, well, English is becoming more prepositional. One of the reasons is the Americans love their prepositions. They're much more prepositional. American English. Winston Churchill in Parliament once made a speech to Parliament, and he was picked up for ending a sentence with a preposition. To which he replied, "This is the sort of pedantic nonsense up with which I will not put." This is the nonsense I won't put up with. See, I've ended with a preposition. But actually, that's okay, because to put up with is a prepositional verb. To put the pen on the table. To put up a picture. Put up a picture. To put up means to mount. To fix it on the wall. Yeah. So this word put, or this verb put, has many different meanings depending on the preposition. Next. We've got loads of these. That's singular, but the subject is plural. Of course, one simple thing I should say is that in English, every sentence should have a verb. Now, apparently, that in Arabic, that's not the case. You can have noun sentences, i.e. sentences without verbs. If I said, this car was nice, what I really mean is, this car used to be nice, but it's not anymore. Yeah? So if I'm trying to sell you my car, and I said, this car was nice, you would immediately say, oh my God, it's a terrible car then. Yeah? This car was nice when I bought it, but now it's an absolute wreck. I wouldn't touch it. Remember to never split an infinitive. You see, to never split. That's the split infinitive. Anyway, we ignore that. When dangling, do not use participles. When dangling, do not use participles. Well, what does this mean? Okay, you've got to imagine now, you're hanging by the branch of a tree, okay? And you might say, this is the context, isn't it? You're hanging for a tree, and I shouldn't use a... And because it's dangling, it means something completely different. Yeah? Avoid cliches like the plague. Avoid the plague. No, the grammar is perfect here. What the problem here is what is style. No. What's a cliche? What's a cliche?
Old word.
It's a French word.
Old word.
Avoid the airport. Avoid something like the plague means to keep well away. Yeah? To avoid like the plague. Plague was a disease that killed everybody. It was something to avoid. Yeah? So, but Cliches are also to be avoided when you run-on sentences. A run-on sentence. Do not write a run-on sentence. It's difficult when you've got to punctuate, so it makes sense when the reader reads what you wrote. Do not write a run-on sentence full stop. It is difficult when you have to punctuate it full stop. So, about sentence fragments, well, don't write them in English, they're not allowed. Yeah? You've got to have a verb. There's no verb. So, it's English. Yeah, data. Don't use apostrophes in plural. Next one, don't use apostrophes in plurals. Okay.
Yes, we have without
Well, they're both wrong, aren't they? There should be no apostrophe. This shouldn't be an apostrophe here. Cross it out. In both cases. Well, this was English when Beowulf was written. So, yeah, old English, very old, more than 1,000 years old. Nobody would understand this now. Fate often favours an unthinking man. But the point here is, what is good English in 2003? Careful users of English probably deplored the change, but resistance was futile. The people decide what is English. Grammarians. It is the speakers who decide. If you write the grammar down, it's immediately out of date. Apostrophe, American spellings are creeping into British English. For example, who now writes targeting with double T? Well, the correct English in targeting is 2 T's. I mean, modelling is one I see in mathematics all the time. 2 L's in modelling. In English, American English, 1 L in modelling. One thing I'd encourage you to do is write, well, now, in a creative English, I tell them to do the opposite. Write simple sentences. Use plain English. And simplify. So, another good strategy is, when you write, make sure you spend as much time checking what you've written and writing it. So I looked at the poster. Did you see the poster of me? Yeah? In the hallway when you came up. There was a picture of me, and then the title of my talk. Yeah, it said, learning strategy. I think one learning word would have been enough. Strategies for learning English, or learning strategies for English. Well, actually, that means something different. Oh, we're on to English, or now we're on to mathematics, that's it. I'm talking next about wicked witches. Cow witch has VSE. This is the cow VSE. If in doubt, or change a witch to a bat. This is the prepositional nature of American English. Continue on, reverse when continue and reverse. Break up long clotted sentences into several shorter ones. Avoid vague language. That's the end of this bit of a show on the English here. I'm going to come back now to the original.
كويس انا الشاعر ده موجود
معلش احنا شويه
هو الحمد لله
I saw this one. way that this occurred. This was in Frankfurt Airport. Now, if you can't see this, I recommend you come and have a look. What's happened? Camel smoking zone. What comes into your mind?
It's an area for smoker. Area for smoker.
Yeah, it is. You can take camel meat and you can preserve it. This is it's actually a brand of cigarettes. Okay? So Camel, the company that make these particular cigarettes, have sponsored this zone. So actually what they want you to do here is buy a packet of camels, not the four-legged animals, there at all. But I'm hoping to see some camels tomorrow when I visit the desert. Yeah. Hopefully they won't be smoking. Okay, thank you. Are there any questions? Come on, questions. Yeah? Microphone. That's the best strategy. Not the cheapest. That's a different question. Another question?
There is no strategy in learning to learn to teach English. There is no one is better than the other. So we choose the strategy according to students some
Grammar.
yes. For example, if I want to teach my students vocabulary about thoughts, okay, I can use the role play strategy. I get two students, one of them. Practice the role of
I can't hear the question. Put the microphone.
teach them about jobs. I can get two children, one make or practice the role of a
Yeah, so
and another one can act the role of a policeman. I get the two children, one makes like this, another is the words. The policeman says, I work at a police station.
Yes.
I can get other students, two other students. One acts the role of a patient.
Yeah.
Another student acts the role of a doctor. And he wears the coat of a doctor.
This means that strategies change from one person to another, yeah?
Yes, this is the strategy of role play.
Change from the scene, yeah?
This is one of the strategies.
Yeah.
To my student about how to save environment.
Yeah.
I can use the brain strategy, the brainstorm strategy. How can we save our environment? Okay, I let all my students think and give me answers, and I accept.
Yes.
What the best way to teach grammar for students here in Saudi Arabia? What the best way to teach grammar?
Best way to teach grammar.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I can write the rule on the board and I explain.
I
I can
think
write this
is.
with its own. But it can.
But I don't think you projecting in the way that I am now trying to now is the best way. I think a better way is to say. So then have to correct. Personally, I think that's a better way than the teacher saying the correct way is.
Yeah.
The inductive way, deduction.
That means we
Yeah.
use induction.
But I would also say, don't worry too much about the grammar. Okay, eventually grammar becomes important, doesn't it? But you can't get anywhere without the vocabulary. And you've got to use the vocabulary.
The function of the grammar, acting it in the classes, the function.
You see, I was never taught grammar.
Yeah.
I never learned English. Well, I'll rephrase that again actually. I have learned English grammar, speaking and writing English. I was never taught it. But in English schools now, it's becoming a trend to teach grammar to young children. I was never taught.
Our teacher introduced grammar in 3 steps: teaching rules, giving examples, and presentation, and giving exercise. The traditional way of teaching grammar.
Yeah, okay.
Teaching rules, and then giving examples, and last, exercise.
Right.
What's your opinion about it?
Right. I think speaking is better than writing. That's just my opinion.
Speaking is better than writing. We speak first and then we write.
Yes.
The first and the most
But
important.
it depends what we're talking about. Do we want, what's a better learning strategy? And then I would say speaking. But what's a better teaching strategy is different, isn't it? You know, because if there's one person trying to teach many, then the speaking strategy doesn't work. It depends, doesn't it? In a one-to-one, the best is writing. But in a one-to-many, the best strategy is writing. So it depends on your resources. But then you see, this is why I'm pointing to these other resources, which are not films, children's television programs, where you can have one-to-one.
I watched an expert. He says he tells how to teach English. He said that when we teach, when we want to learn the English language, it is not important to learn the rules. The most important thing is to listen and to speak. When you speak the word, you will teach the.
That's the learning, and it depends on the materials you have available. But I agree. I would say that is the best learning strategy.
I encourage my students to watch the film.
Yeah, good.
To read magazine.
I agree.
ما بكونش الصوت بس الكلام عادي. ده العيال راح مرة تشوف معايا. راح مرة تشوف مش 1000.
Right. That's just laziness, I would say. If you can speak, then the words are coming in, anything you can write. And if you don't write what you can see, that's just laziness. That's just because you can't be bothered to put pen to paper, in a sense, I would say. That's not to do with ability, application.
Only speaking.
Which what correction?
Error correction.
Error correction. Quizzes. Yes, no.
Direct or indirect correction. Direct or indirect correction.
I would say, again, I'm going to say quizzes in which you give an example of an incorrect sentence and you ask for it to be corrected. For choice as well. It depends, doesn't it? It depends whether you're trying to encourage them to write. So it's incorrect grammar, and then you ask them to rewrite it with correct grammar. Essentially you're teaching writing as well as grammar at the same time.
It depends on listening.
Or the children, the learners are in a class and it's one to many, then I think the single sentence with the incorrect grammar that you're asking them to write in the correct grammar that they all get on with simultaneously is the appropriate way there, isn't there?
But there are many some students on.
What's the reward for learning English in your class? Feedback. Yeah, I mean, how important is reward when teaching?
Very important.
Yeah, I would say so. To learn, haven't you? You bring your learner into the environment. Why are they learning? What's the purpose of the whole thing? If that's not, if they haven't got a purpose, they're going to apply themselves. So you've got to make sure everybody finds their purpose. You've got to reward them when they're successful. None. Move on to the next question. Make it a bit easier. Yeah? You only ever reward in the affirmative.
You always encourage.
Pardon?
You always encourage.
You always encourage. Yeah?
Our students.
You always find the level at which they're able to perform. And then when they perform correctly, you reward them. And if set that they can't perform, then that's your fault. You take the level down. You find the level they can perform so that they can be rewarded, so that they're encouraged. I'm not sure that's... Depends on your relationship with that person as well. You have to understand some individuals can accept negative feedback. Some cannot take it at all. Once you understand that person, get inside the learner's head, then there comes a point where you may be able to give them negative feedback in general. But in general, if you're not inside the learner's head, never give negative feedback.
Question, please.
Another question?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Concentrate on one thing at a time. Depends on you. Depends on how your brain works. Personally, I can only do one thing at a time. Yeah.
Thank you. I have a question.
What is the best way to explain vocabulary for kids?
Explain vocabulary for kids. I'm not sure I understand. Well,
Like when I say
flashcards or whatever. Cards. Picture. Here's a cat. Say the word cat. Show the word cat. But also, try and. What's the best way to remember a new word? Well, I would say by some example. I'll give you an example. Spanish word for belt. The thing you wear around. Well, the thing that holds up one's trousers. I'm not wearing one. Spanish word for belt is centurion. Okay?
What's wrong to translate it in Arabic?
Pardon?
Is it wrong to translate it in Arabic?
Translate.
In Arabic?
What is it traditionally like? Here's every bi-language dictionary, English, French, English, Arabic, Arabic and English word written. You're not going to teach like that, I don't think. So that's hard, isn't it?
But you can use an English dictionary. English to English.
I think vocabulary of a basic 1,000 or 2,000 words depends on how the brain is wired as well. Personally, I have a very visual brain. Okay? So, for example, if I'm solving a crossword puzzle, right? You know an English crossword, yeah? Suppose you've got some of the letters. I can look at the letters and see the word. Oh, that word fits there. Because it's just a picture of the word. You know what? Qa'ata is in my head, as well as the picture of the animal. But actually, now I'm thinking about it, I can see the letters more than see the animal. So it just depends how your brain is.
Okay, I started reading English since 2014 actually until now. I started reading English language then.
Yeah.
I can, maybe I do speak English maybe well, but I watch movie with English subtitles every day. Watch movie with English subtitles and stop the movie and read it again and spend it. If I want to say something, I can say it. I can speak with anyone. If I want to read something, I can read. But if I write something, when can I write something? But English language have 4 skills: reading and writing and speaking and listening. I do 3 of them: speaking, and, listening, and make history.
Write down what you just said.
There is a role for that?
No.
No.
That's just the practice.
Just practice anything.
Anything. But you just said something, it was perfectly understandable. So write it down.
Okay, well.
Thank you. Write a story. I mean, in a sense, this is
I tried to do this, but
this is what we do with with English children. Okay. Well, in that case, do some speaking and then stop and write down what you just spoke.
I can listen very well. I speak.
You can speak very well.
Thank you very much. But
Maybe you're going too quickly. You speak very quickly.
yeah.
Maybe you need to slow down a little. And when you write it, you need to slow down even more.
But I never
Because
speak.
writing takes time.
But I never speak. I speak very quickly. So
Yeah, well, this is why you don't write, because you want to.
Yeah.
Everybody would like to, on behalf of our school, represented by Dr. Ayman and the teacher Muhammad, we would like to again welcome you in our school, Professor Felipe, and this is as a souvenir.
Okay, right.
From our school.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you again.
Right.
And you are welcome in our country.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.
Okay. Good luck. You're going to carry that.
كل واحد عاوز يتصور بعض. ماشي لا انهي.
And here, take a picture with the professor.
الناس لا بتصورش.
Please come here. All of us come here, please.
Right, why did you have
زيد الجوال الجوال يزيد بالكذب كله.
Thank you.
إذا كان لك كانت تنهي انت.
Okay, good luck. Your English is really good.
Thank you very much.
اوكي. امسكها عشان انهي. امسك لي هني بس بعد ساعدناكم ومع في لقاءات اخرى متوسطة حبل المعرفة. شكرا لك. ايوه استاذ محمد عشان تمام كده انا هيطلع ساعة وكذا فيديو شغال مباشر. لا انت حضرت فيديو بس يوتيوب.